I'd like to call the village board meeting for the Village of Cary for July 1st, 2025 to order with roll call, please.
Collier,
Here.
Dudek. Here. McAlpine,
Here.
Persina,
Here.
Stefani,
Not yet.
Here.
Walrath,
Here.
Kownick.
I am here. I will entertain a motion to allow trustee Anthony Stefani to attend the meeting remotely due to a work commitment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Welcome, Anthony. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Brian, can you get the sheet, please? Thank you. We'll now move to the open forum where the public is invited to make an issue-oriented comment on any matter of public concern not otherwise on the agenda. Thank you. David Arvins.
Good evening, Mayor, Board. I'm here, as I said I would be, for every first Tuesday and every third. Mayor, you made a statement last time that we met that there would be plenty of signage in conspicuous places regarding this zoning. Currently, there's a sign out on 31. The grass is taller than the sign, so it's pretty obscured. The sign down at the cul-de-sac on the end of New Haven Drive, an employee from Walmart parks there, right in front of it. So I guess there's limited hours that sign is visible from the public view, okay? There's no date on those signs, okay? There is a phone number. I call the phone number, nobody answers, yeah? It's kind of strange because I hear that so much from other people when I've sat and listened on this open forum. People say that nobody answers the phone. But you reference a phone number for them to call. So I called that number. Now, on your marquee, it is up like you said it would be. However, there's no number up there. There is a date, right? So information being disseminated, I know that we've had this discussion multiple times and talked about meetings, and you've explained yourself, okay? I'm still looking for meetings, okay? But it seems to be that this information, the way it's being presented, the way it is being distributed, okay, for people to be able to see it, isn't very inconspicuous, okay? And I understand that was it people within 250 feet of the project, which is Savoy, did get notice, if I understand correctly, okay? There was supposed to be distribution of information to the people of Cambria. I don't know that it's understood here that this affects everyone off of New Haven Drive, okay? Not just Savoy, where that development is going to be next to, okay? You're talking about a throughway and a bypass. I understand you don't like me using that term, okay? But when I've asked other people their opinion of that, they say, what else would you call it, okay? So I don't think I'm too far off the mark on what it is. And I've made some observations of traffic on 31 backing up all the way past Ray Cow, okay? And I know many are waiting to make a turn onto Three Oaks Road. And I can only imagine in my own head what's gonna happen to the extension of New Haven Drive when we attempt to open that up, which is why I'm here, to prevent that from happening. I've explained to you all prior, I hope that you've taken notes, that there are 66 driveways, there's 239 mailboxes on that roadway, the school buses, the streets. I know you've mentioned it being a collector road, okay, but this isn't like a highway with collector distributor ramps and that. This is a road that goes through a subdivision that connects all the side streets, not a major thoroughfare. We're all in agreement that people do speed down there, okay, unfortunately, okay. A stronger police presence may help that, you know. A couple tickets may deter some people from that. Recently, there's been a digital sign posted at the end of the old were Sage connected, which is gated now into the parking lot into Stryker, okay? That's the only thing, and I'm not sure, maybe someone can clarify, is that supposed to be a traffic study? Or is that just a speed limit sign that tells people how fast they're going as they enter? But there's no other means of regulating the speed in there, okay? But I'll stick to the main point, which is my issue, is that developing a connecting road, a throughway, okay, on New Haven Drive, and the dramatic impact that it's going to have on the subdivision, the families, the children, all of us, the way of life of this community. And I hope that as I continue to talk about this, and before we approach the days that you're going to vote on it, that you're going to take strongly into consideration my words, okay? Because I'm not here to say, talk nasty and fight, but I'm surely here to impress upon you that I want you to realize how much the community feels. And in closing, there's 425 people on the petition. I'll be presenting that petition to the zoning board prior. I will be presenting my own impact statement for the board. I put it on the petition website, trying to assist in distributing the information about the meeting, okay? The phone, I hope maybe somebody will start to answer it and give information. But please, hear what I say, and please take it in deep thought, you know, and that it's a very meaningful, concerning issue for us in Cambria as a whole. Okay.
Thank you for your comments. Chris Reike?
Good evening. I went to both of the Maplewood things, and from the way it looks like you're still going to try and build the 4-story apartment buildings, that you're not going to try and get rid of that. You did add some single-family homes, I see, some 3-story stuff, but it seems like the 4- and 5-story stuff is not going to go away. In a lot of the building projects that have gone on in Cary, the zoning has been changed. There's one over by, well, one right across the street here. The Maplewood, we want to build the high-rises where the buses are. You're going around changing the zoning with like no holds bar, or whatever you can do. And I've been looking around at your plans as far as your past, it's the past planning efforts, the comprehensive plan, and how you want to, it's called the Western Expansion of downtown, and how it says that there may be some houses that may be lost, and if the people are aware of that they might be losing their houses in this process, and then how out of all of this, how wherever all of you live, nothing, whether it be the New Haven, where they want to change the zoning and build the housing, and which in looking at that, eventually all of 31 will be developed, but that's not considered Cary, but none of it affects you as far as traffic, nothing. And then in closing, I was wondering if it's what it would take, whether it be the chief or all of you, to do anything about the electric bikes, because they are, me and my dad coming off of Lloyd Street the one day, there were teenagers, not even teenagers, there were kids in junior high. There was 4 of them coming right up First Street, right up the center of First Street, just flying. No helmets, no safety, nothing. Just, now, I don't know if that's something that between the trustees and the police chief can do, but they're just, and those scooters are out of control. No helmets, they just fly in front of the street, you know, they don't look. So I don't know, I know other towns have done something about it, but I don't know if you would be able to do anything about it. So,
Thank you for your comments.
yep.
D'Angelo, you're here for the ATM. I'm going to ask you to hold till we call that particular item for the agenda, then you could be called up for that, okay? Ginny Palumbo?
Of course, I'm going to talk about New Haven. So, I'll bring this down because you won't hear me. There's been different things said about New Haven. I have been told that it's not going to be a thoroughfare, but then on the other hand, I'm told that you want to be able to connect those apartments to Cary so that they can come down New Haven to go into Cary. It's either one or the other. It is going to be a thoroughfare. I'm going to keep saying it. I don't understand what your motivation is, and it really is sad that you guys really don't care, that you're going to be opening up a subdivision to 31, which is a very, very busy state highway, or county highway, whatever it is. But it's still a very, very busy, and you're going to open it up. And I did ask at one point, if it doesn't work and you realize, oh, wait, we made a mistake, what are we going to do? You're not going to close it, you're just going to do other things. And that does bother me. That's all I have.
Thank you for your
I'll
comments.
keep coming every day, every week.
Dave Gwynn?
Dave Gwynn, 321 Bryan Drive, Cary. Regarding Decker Drive issues, I come before you tonight to eat a little crow. I was here about a month ago, and I made a comment regarding Decker Drive issues, and I made a comment something to the effect, I made it directed towards Police Chief Finlan, that this is no way to run a police department. Well, I have a rare disorder in which, when I get a little excited, my mouth tends to engage before my brain does. So I do want to apologize to Police Chief Finlan. He runs a great department, and he's been very, very responsive. So let's see. Also, I would like to thank some people. I'd like to thank Kaylin Noonan and Police Chief Finlan and the entire council. Since last time I was here, we now have 2 radar signs that are operational on Decker. I'd like to see more, but I'll save that for later. It'll give me a chance to come back and visit you sometime. We also have truck weight limit signs that are now on both ends of Decker. So the weight limit is 12,000 pounds. That's plainly marked. And so Chief Finlan will make calls to companies, to trucking companies that we see the names. He will call them and say, you shouldn't be on Decker with those semis or with those heavy septic trucks or whatever they are. So we have a little motto, the chief and I spot them, the chief calls them. So it's working pretty well. And we email each other every day and have this little discussion. So he's been very, very helpful and very responsive, and I do appreciate it. Let's see. Lastly, hopefully the striping will be done soon. We're going to have striping where there's a bike lane and a parking lane on Decker. So hopefully that'll continue to slow things down. Even my wife commented that she thinks the traffic is a little bit calmer now and tends to be slowing down. I don't think it's slow enough, but we'll take what we can get. And it does seem like it is calmer, and the heavy trucks are definitely disappearing from Decker. A few are still there, but we're working on that. So that's really all I had to say. Just wanted to say thank you for the work we've accomplished. It's taken about a year, but we've gotten there. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to address the village board at this time? Okay, we'll go ahead and close open forum at 6:15. Sure.
Thank you again for making the village staff aware of the phone issue. We are aware of it, and we are looking into rectifying that as soon as possible, so thank you.
Hey, now moving to the mayor's report, a couple things I'm going to add in here. We had the pleasure, staff and myself, meeting with Senator Wilcox. We toured 4 of our Cary businesses, Aptar, an incredible operation, one of our larger employers in town. They just did a great job explaining what they do to our senator, as well as his staff. John and Dennis were with him too, so that was really nice to show them a little piece of what our larger employers are. We also spent some time at Plum Grove Printing, which is a really nice operation that we have in town. They relocated from another municipality a couple years ago and absolutely love being here. They were pretty joyful about it and expressing their likening for the Village of Cary, so we're happy with that. And then we also he wanted a restaurant, so we went to 750 Kachina, showed him the operation there and the future expansion that they're contemplating right now. And finally, we ended up at Cary Apothecary over on Industrial Drive. So he kind of had a good flavor of what's going on in the Village of Cary, and it was really nice to be able to show him around. Give thanks to the Chamber of Commerce for helping us get that taken care of. So that was a really nice opportunity to, again, working with our legislators with the Village of Cary. Also, I don't know if everybody knew that we had a fireworks show here on Saturday put on by. I was there with my wife and my brother and his family and stuff, and it was nice to finally say, no, this is not the Village of Cary. You need to thank the Park District. So they did a remarkable job. It was a huge event. I mean, they had probably 10 food trucks and things, and it was really nicely attended. So I want to give it a shout out to our counterpart at the Park District, which we work so well with, and hopefully that energy will carry on with our Cary Main Street Fest in the coming months too. So that was fun to be a part of that. I have one proclamation tonight. Speaking of National Recreation and Parks Month, July 2025, whereas parks and recreation are integral parts of communities throughout the county, including the Village of Cary and Cary Park District, and whereas parks and recreation promotes time spent in nature, which positively impacts both physical and mental health by increasing cognitive performance and well-being, and whereas parks and recreation encourages physical attributes by providing space for popular sports, hiking trails, swimming pools, and many other activities designed to promote active lifestyles, and whereas park and recreation programs and education activities such as out-of-school time programming, youth sports, and environmental education are critical to the childhood development, and whereas parks and recreation increases the community's economic prosperity through increased property values, expansion of the local tax base, increased tourism, the attraction and retention of businesses, and crime reduction. And whereas the U.S. House of Representatives has designated July as Parks and Recreation Month, therefore I, Mark Koenig, Mayor of the Village of Cary, do hereby proclaim July as Recreation and Parks Month in the Village of Cary, encourage all citizens to celebrate healthy, active lifestyles by participating in the choice of recreation and park activities, dated this first day of July 2025. I will entertain a motion to approve consent agenda items A through J as shown on the village's website and is displayed on the video monitor during the village board meeting.
Moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Walworth,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Prusina,
Yes.
Stefani,
Yes.
Dudek.
Yes.
Thank you. We have 4 items for separate action tonight. The first is I will entertain a motion to recess the village board meeting to open a public hearing regarding the fiscal year 2025-2026 Village of Cary appropriation ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
It is, what time is it now? 6:19. Any comments with regards to this? Okay. Then I will go ahead and close the hearing at 6:19 as well. Moving forward with that, since there was no comments or objections regarding that, I will entertain a motion to approve making the annual appropriations ordinance for the Village of Cary, McHenry County, Illinois, for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2025, and ending April 30th, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Dudek,
Yes.
Walworth,
Yes.
Stefani,
Yes.
McAlpine,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Prusina.
Yes.
And next, I will consider an approval for an ordinance amending Section 5.38.020 and Section 5.38.040 of Village Code to allow mobile food trucks at Cary Lake at Rotary Park.
So moved.
Second.
We talked about this quite heavily at the committee hall, so roll call, please.
Collier,
Yes.
Stefani,
Yes.
Dudak,
Yes.
Walrath,
Yes.
Prusina,
Yes.
McAlpine.
Yes.
Thank you. And finally, I will entertain a motion to approve an ordinance granting a conditional use permit for the drive-up automatic teller machine, ATM, for the property located at 700 through 732 Northwest Highway.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Director Simmons?
Thank you, Mayor, Village Board. The request this evening is for a petition that was submitted for a proposed ATM at the Cary Square Shopping Center, Phase 2 of that center, which is the 700 to 732 Northwest Highway property. Brief overview of the property: zone B2 Shopping Center Business District, which does allow ATMs as conditional uses. The property was originally developed back in the 80s for the shopping center. It's had various uses that have come in there throughout the years, subject to the zoning district classification for the property. The proposal is to construct a drive-up ATM within the shopping center parking lot. It would involve the removal of 9 parking spaces along the eastern edge of the property, and would require the conditional use approval for the B2 district. This slide shows the location of the proposed improvement and landscaping that would be installed as well adjacent to the ATM. Additionally, this slide shows a comparison of the existing conditions versus the proposed conditions. So it would be located near the entrance to the shopping center, which is the right in, right out, towards the west edge of the property between the Jewel, Osco, and the Atletico spaces. So it would be in the private parking lot to the west of that shared drive aisle between those two buildings. Within code, there are various requirements for providing off-street parking that are required for any developments. Within the code, there's provisions for shopping centers between 30,000 and 120,000 square feet that they provide one space per 225 gross floor area. As the property in question for the Cary Square is actually built in multiple phases, there's multiple property owners out there as well. We applied the code requirement specifically for this subject property, which is owned by a different owner than the adjacent Jewel portion of the shopping center. But based off the current parking requirements that are provided in the site, there are 93 parking spaces, and with the elimination of 9, it would reduce that total number to 84, which would still comply with the minimum required of 76 spaces. So the proposed improvements would not require additional relief other than the conditional use as requested this evening. Additionally, the stacking for drive-up ATM requires a stacking a minimum for 2 vehicles. Per the plan, they will be providing stacking for up to 3 vehicles at that proposed location. As with any standards or proposals that are reviewed, there are various standards that need to be met within the Unified Development Ordinance, which are summarized in the slide. But generally, would they not have detrimental impact to adjacent property owners, the general welfare of the community, and then generally overall comply with the village's comprehensive plan. During a public hearing in June, the zoning board reviewed the request and by a vote of 5-1 did recommend approval of the requested conditional use, subject to the 3 conditions that are provided in the slide here. I'll be happy to answer any questions that the board may have regarding the petition as well, and the petitioner is here to provide additional commentary on their petitions if there's any questions of them.
Did the petitioner want to come up and kind of give us an overview of what you're trying to do? Give you an opportunity to talk? Sure. How did you land in Cary? What's your...
So, my name is Michael Villarreal. I'm with Flight Banking Centers. We are the developer of this, of the drive-up ATM for U.S. Bank that has a relationship with the landowner to put this drive-up ATM on this parking lot. So the gentleman, Brian, described it fairly clearly. You'll seen the pictures. This is a drive-up ATM for U.S. Bank. It's there to add, 24-hour service, so to speak, for customers of the bank and also non-customers of the bank to use the ATM in a secure environment when they're in their car, driving by, going to any of these shopping centers, or traveling from their home to their destination or work. So, pretty simple. It's a drive-up ATM.
Okay. I know there's a couple trustees had some questions.
I definitely have questions.
Yes.
What precipitated you saying that there was a need for this in this area? I mean, I'm just kind of curious how this came, because U.S. Bank used to have a presence here in Cary and you left. So I'm curious, what made you think that you need this here?
So this is one of the issues that a lot of banks are having today. They're taking these branches, they're not profitable, or they're not making enough money, they can't support the branch, but they want to support the community. And they have a branch, they had a branch presence here for many years, they have customers here for many years. So they're trying to figure out a way to service those customers in your community so that they don't have to drive to the next town or drive 5 miles to the branch. These ATMs are different from they used to be even 10, 15, 20 years ago. These are very advanced ATMs now. You can make deposits, you can deposit checks, you can deposit cash, you can check your balances, obviously, but you can also do a lot of other things with these ATMs. So they're kind of smart ATMs now, right? They call them kind of a bank in a box, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So it really does allow the customers in your community that do bank with U.S. Bank to have services there in their community, and they can conduct their routine banking transactions without having to leave the community or go too far away. So again, you take a branch away, you have to figure out how to service your customers. These ATMs, when we're seeing it across the country, our company builds drive-up ATMs for banks across the country. This is one of the biggest trends we're seeing in the industry right now, is if you close down a branch or you need to expand to a new market, you can do it with the drive-up ATM, because that's what customers want. A lot of customers are not walking into the branch to do routine banking transactions. They want to stay in their car, they want to be secure in their car, and they want to do their routine banking transactions when they're, doing their normal daily life. So it is a real convenience to your citizens and your community.
And so you have a relationship with the owner of the parking lot. U.S. Bank doesn't.
U.S. Bank does, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so at least that explains where it's coming from. So I just have some concerns about if there's really a need for it, I guess is where I'm at. I mean, simply because you got Fifth Third Bank, yes, you pay a fee to take it out of another banking ATM, but it's literally the other side. It's on the other side of it's another bank.
Yeah, no,
So I'm just trying to figure out what the need, whether it was the U.S. Bank customers that were asking for this, that perhaps the customer base was saying, hey, you don't have a presence here, we want something, or what was the, what precipitated this?
That is the reason, the most important reason is to service U.S. Bank customers, right? With cybersecurity, with issues, people don't want to dip their debit card into just any machine, even if it is a Fifth Third Bank. You don't want to pay the extra fee, and plus, if you go to another bank, sure, you can get out cash, but it limits your services. That's really all you can do. I can't go, if I'm a U.S. Bank customer, I can't stick my debit card in a Fifth Third Bank and make a deposit. So I have to go to U.S. Bank ATM to do that.
I just feel like most people are doing it. They're taking a picture of their checks and uploading them these days.
You can. It's limited. A lot of accounts. Maybe you have a very advanced account where you can make 15,
I'm just talking in
20,000.
general, the younger population as they're coming through. I'm looking at my children. If I ask them what a checkbook is, they look at me with deer in headlight. I mean, it's just banking is changing a lot. So
yes. So you can do all those things, right? But we all know with society, right? It's any business that wants to survive today, they need to be good at every single channel, right? You have to be good. If you're a bank, you have to be good at branch. You have to be good at app. You have to have a good app. You have to be good at have an online presence. You have to have a good ATM network, right? Because the competition's tough. So, for U.S. Bank, one, they want to service their customers. Two, they don't want to lose their customers. Because if they do not service their customers in Cary, their customers are going to defect and go across the street to Fifth Third. So there's a lot of reasons for it, but it is an important channel that we're seeing in the banking industry. And every bank, from Bank of America to Chase to Wells Fargo, all the way, we deal with a lot of credit unions, But this is a good way for credit unions to expand their footprint without spending $2 million for a branch and filling it with, 3 to 5 full-time equivalent employees, right? So, yep,
Okay, that at least answers my initial question, so thank you.
you're welcome.
Anything from this side?
I thought it was a great explanation. You answered a lot of my questions during your speech, and I just feel bad for the people who have to snowplow around it in the winter. Just an obstruction.
Yeah.
But thank you for.
We deal with that a lot.
Trustee Dudek, did you have a comment, or?
No, I think Trustee McFine asked the questions I had. All things being equal, I see no need for it. I think there's a demand. That branch that U.S. Bank had, Gary's been closed for, 7, 8 years already. So, I don't have anything further.
Trustee Collier? None? Okay.
The next closest one, I believe, is in Barrington.
Crystal Lake
Oh, they do have one in Crystal Lake? Okay.
by Sam's
Bridge the gap between the towns.
and Algonquin.
Director Simmons, I have a question for you. The zoning board did, how do I phrase this right? Did any of the existing tenants in that shopping center come in opposition of absorbing, because that parking lot gets pretty full? And existing customers, did they respond in any way, shape, or form?
We received no comments regarding the petition from the public or from tenants within the center.
That was my major concern, because that's a very popular spot over there, and some nights you can't park anywhere close there. And then we have the Jewel, our beloved Jewel. It spills over there all the time. So I was just concerned about releasing 9 parking spaces.
We've gotten that question before. A lot of tenants like an ATM in their parking lot. If you think about it, it's the only tenant on the parking lot where a customer visits that establishment and leaves with more cash than it came with, right? And we also seen studies where 80% of the money that's pulled out of an ATM is spent in its immediate retail market. So other retailers love to have an ATM in their parking lot. It gives them a reason to get a kind of a high-quality customer, depositor onto their parking lot, and then use the retailers. So a lot of landowners, a lot of tenants try to put these ATMs in these parking lots because it enhances the revenue of that center.
Any other questions on this?
I feel obliged to make a comment now, and
Go
I'm
right
not quite
ahead,
sure
Trustee
why.
Walworth.
I realize this is a conditional use, so there is some input needed from us. But I will state the same item that I've stated years past, which is it's should not be our position to determine what business comes to town. If they feel there's a need for it, their job is to determine what's the best outlet for their goods or services. They've chosen this location. I would agree. I would raise my eyebrows at an ATM of one brand being 500 feet from a bank of another brand. But nobody raised those questions when we opened an Armanetti's right next to the Jewel, right next to the Walgreens, right next to the Cary Liquor. So those were not conditional uses. I understand that this is asking for a little bit give back from us. And I think the mayor summed it up great. The only give back that we're talking about is 9 spaces. And as we've talked about in traffic flow patterns and we've talked about other things, we can't reverse engineer back to the one busiest day of the year. There's probably a handful of days where the parking lot is filled all the way out there, but if you go by 23 hours a day, there's nobody in that portion of any of the parking lot. So my support for this will be in terms of the petitioner coming in with an idea that they think is going to be successful in Cary, and I'm looking for people who think they can be successful in Cary.
Thank you. No other comments? Roll call, please.
Stefani,
Yes.
Walworth,
Yes.
Dudek,
No.
Collier,
No.
Persina,
Yes.
McAlpine.
No.
Looks like got a 3-3 tie.
That leaves it to me. I'm going to go with a yes.
Okay, this carries 4-3.
Thank you. Welcome to the Village of Cary. Wish you luck. I hope that everything goes well.
Okay.
Ryan will take care of you from
Yep,
here.
Thank you very much, Brian.
Thank you. Moving on. Administrator support, Administrator Morimoto.
Thank you, Mayor. I was going to note the meeting with Senator Wilcox. I appreciate you giving the update on that. And then next, as you might recall, with Cary Main Street Fest on the horizon, the Chamber and the Village will be having the volunteer portal live very soon to the public. So we encourage those that want to take a part in being a volunteer and help us run the event. We are looking forward to having more people join us. So look for that on our social media, website, and Cary News Weekly in the near future.
Thank you. Department, do you have a couple too? Do I have to add a line on here now
Yes,
for
you
you?
do.
I think we might have to. Can you take care of that? Do you know a guy that can take care of that? Okay, let's do that.
Just another biweekly update with the Cary Uncovered. We have over 250 participants, and we have 6 that have completed it so far. We are planning on putting some more updates out there on our social media platforms to encourage more participation. We were notified through Naturally McHenry County that it's the second most visited trail throughout the area, which is fantastic. And then next, just a friendly reminder, Friday, July 4th is Independence Day, so village offices will be closed in observation of that.
Thank you. Department roads, Chief Finland.
Yes, just I guess announcement here that the department is participating in a statewide traffic safety enforcement campaign focused on speeding. So that's what this graphic is about. Is we're advising people to slow down and protect your communities, and we'll be enforcing speed regulations.
Thank you. Director Noonan.
No report tonight.
No report?
Just wish
You
everyone
don't
a
want
happy
to talk
4th
about
of
water
July.
main breaks at all, or nothing? Nothing?
I'm-
You about done with that?
I'm done with that.
We're working. It's a process. Katie, do you have anything for us? Brian, Director Simmons.
Brief update is the public comment that was earlier this evening. The public hearing for the Seasons of Cary project has been scheduled for July 17th this month. So we have posted signs on the property, both on New Haven Drive and Route 31. We've also, working with our Public Works Department, we'll have a message center sign placed out on New Haven Drive as well, advertising the upcoming public hearing for that meeting. So the information is out from a standpoint of disseminating for that case going through the process here. Additionally, as the board's aware, there were 2 open houses that were held for the Maplewood property in the last 2 weeks. Had good turnout for that. Staff from myself did attend those meetings just to help answer questions outside of the development realm, but there was good attendance from that standpoint. As for the public's knowledge, the project will continue to go through our process here. We're still working with the developer to refine the redevelopment agreement for that site. And that'll be the next actionable item that will come before the board later this summer. And then the project would have to go through our zoning process officially for any zoning entitlements should we enter an agreement with the developer from that standpoint. So next steps from there, but if there's any inquiries or questions regarding either one of those projects, happy to answer those from both the board and the public in our office.
Thank you. One other question about, we keep getting reminded about the number of signs to, are we going to ask the developer to add any more like yard signs to put out along New Haven, just to remind people maybe it's some stop signs or something? Is that?
The village puts out the public notice signs, so we have a sign that's at the end of New Haven Drive, which is identifiable for the property from that frontage. There are 2 that I placed on Route 31, so both by the Park District entrance to their property at the Hoffman Park side. That sign was blown over by the wind last week, so I put it back up again this afternoon. The one closer to the shopping center by the entrance into Crystal Lake, that one's hard to see due to the tall grass in that location, but we have advertised from that perspective. The developer won't be putting additional signs out, but from the village perspective, we have the mobile electronic message center sign that we utilize. We'll be placing that on New Haven Drive to advertise the upcoming public.
Perfect. Thank you. Appreciate that. So make sure we're dotting the I's and crossing the T's when it comes to communicating. Surprisingly, it's all the answers are on our website, right? And all the information and things like that, so we can drive that to there
Yeah,
too.
the full petition for that project should be posted within the next week on the village calendar for the documentation for the zoning case or the zoning hearing. So there is information on the petition on the website for the project, a small snippet of the information
Right.
that they submitted, but the full packet would be available to the public on our website eventually here as well.
All right, thank you, sir. Any future agenda items in discussion by the village board?
I have a question, I guess.
Go.
Brian.
What would you like to ask?
It's to Brian. Before, I think it was last meeting, we had somebody bring up that the developer was willing to meet at cruise night or a farmer's market. Have you talked to them, or is there an update on that?
Yeah, we did talk to them. It was something that they were open to what the village's requirements were for it. It's not something that they were volunteering to provide those meetings. But certainly as part of our process, the open house, a lot of feedback was received by the developer as part of that process, but it's not something that they're looking to perform as part of the project.
Anything else? I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned at 6:41.